Hey guys, we're about to get started. Looking forward to the stream. Today we're going to talk about best way to learn web development. We'll see and wait while you guys jump in to join us this awesome Saturday. It's going to be a lot of fun as always. And today we are going to be talking about best way to learn web development. Love to hear what you guys have to say about it. Let me know how's my audio sounds. Let me know if you guys could hear me. Let me know if everything is working great. So really excited for today. Hey guys, I hope you guys doing great. Gonna have a lot of fun today. Today I want to talk about best way to learn to code. I'd like to hear your opinions and hear what you guys have to say, because this channel is for you guys and for me to share ideas to help us to land our next job. So I've been working at my current company for a year and a half now. It's been a long journey to get here. I started to seriously code when I was 35 years old, and by 39 I was able to land my first job. And you know, the journey was hard, and I thought I wasn't going to be able to do it because when I first started learning to code, I felt like I don't know if it's for me. I don't know if I could do it. I don't know. You know, I didn't know. Like, there's so much to learn, so much stuff, and the more stuff I learned, the more I felt like, man, I don't know if I could do this. I don't know if I could learn everything that is required of me to be able to get my job. I just had no idea. With that being said, today we're going to talk about the best way to learn to code, talk about everything that we have going on. I'm trying to mess with my mic. Something's up with it. But anyway, guys, let me know if you guys could hear me well. Let me know if the audio is working. Say hello in the chat because I want to hear from you guys. This is going to be pretty exciting as always, you know. So welcome. While everybody's joining, I know I jumped in a few minutes earlier, which is perfectly fine. I hope you guys having a wonderful weekend. Let me know what you've been up to, what you have been doing. As always, you're the reason why I'm here. So let me know what's up. And as I'm waiting for everybody else to jump in, as you guys slowly coming in, I realized I left my coffee really far. So I am going to be right back. Let me grab my coffee because I'm not going to make it, because you guys know how it is. This is coding after 30, drinking coffee, chatting, and having fun. So if I don't have my coffee at hand, this is going to be insane. So let me go get my coffee first. You guys, give me a minute. This is going to be fast. I'm glad I had my coffee. So the audio's good. Everything's great. Hey, Indy, you could hear me. Thank God. This is awesome. I hope you're doing good. I know a lot of people don't know, like, I fell not too long ago, wrecked my back. I'm finally starting to feel better. I was basically bedridden, working off my laptop in my bed. It was pretty intense, but I'm glad that I'm feeling better. I'm glad to be back, glad to be coding. So super exciting. So you guys, let me know in the comments what you guys want to talk about. But today I felt like we could talk about best ways to learn to code. I also wanted to share my courses on Udemy that I have, just to kind of show you some of the things that I recommend. And also, if you're into HTML and CSS, I just recently took an excellent course, and it was one of my favorite Udemy courses on CSS and web development, just because it came from a standpoint, it's taught by a guy who's a UI UX designer. And I think as we are starting to learn HTML and CSS, a lot of times we follow somebody else who just shows their website that they already created beforehand without going over the design principles, why they made certain choices they did, and how would you go about, you know, taking a mock-up from a Photoshop file or something you found online and recreating it yourself. So I'd love to talk more about it. DJ Norris, what's up? By the way, guys, DJ Norris had an amazing interview on Tech Rally's channel. If you guys haven't seen it, go check it out. It is amazing. The guy is amazing. You know, in some My cats are fighting. They just hit the camera. Hilarious. So if the camera falls down, you know the reason why. But DJ Norris did an amazing interview, like I said, with Tech Rally. And I really like where he's coming from. He had a really good journey, was in the Navy, and now he works at NASA. He'll be live with us next show, so definitely come and join us. But had an amazing story, and there's one thing that he touches upon that I think will make or break you becoming a developer, and it's the big D word. It's basically having the discipline to do what's necessary. Yes, my cats are trying to destroy the camera, and if you hear noise running around, they're pretty rambunctious a bunch. But yeah, definitely don't miss out that interview. It will be amazingly awesome. So I'm really excited to have DJ Norris with us. I think hey Jose, yeah, I think I know the answer to this one. Building projects. Yes, the simple answer is, build projects, because it's the most important part that you could do. And if you're starting out, maybe you didn't get a computer science degree, maybe you didn't go to boot camp yet, and you want to showcase to somebody that you know what you're doing, building projects is super important. Building a portfolio is really important, because at the end of the day, you have to be able to do the work. But more importantly than that, I want to talk about, like, if you're a beginner, where do you start? How do you start? I mean, like, there's so much to learn, and what is the best way, or what is the best strategy to be able to do it in a way where you're not wasting time and following a path that will lead you to getting your job. So that's what we're going to talk about. And yes, what's up, Jose? Good to see you. So that's what we're going to talk about. I hope you guys are doing good. Let me know how everybody's weekend going. I'd love to hear from you guys as I take a sip of this coffee. Yep. But, to get this started, there's so many courses online for us to learn web development. So I wanted to kind of drive down memory lane and look at some Udemy courses that I have that I probably didn't take or should take. But the idea is there's definitely no resources that, anywhere to use as an excuse. I can't find what to learn. I'm just not sure what to learn, because there's classes on Udemy. There's plenty, bajillion options. Just on this account, I have 139 courses. Yes, that's correct. 139 courses. And like, I have courses basically in everything possibly you have to learn. Next.js, C#, UX, UI, Next, JavaScript, Electron. I don't know why I wanted to build Electron. Maybe because VS Code is an Electron app, and I think it'll be cool to create a desktop native app using React and JavaScript. So I could scroll on for hours and hours to kind of show you all the courses I have. I mean, why did I buy a Lua course and getting started with Roblox development? By the way, if you're into gaming, this is something that, I try for fun. I'm not really going to switch to being a game developer, and I use it more for learning purposes. And Logic Indy was helping me with some JavaScript games, and he's pretty awesome. Definitely check out his channel. And but if you are looking to get into web development, Roblox is so popular. I don't know how hard it is to build games for Roblox with Lua, but apparently people make money doing that. But in terms of game developer in general, it's a hard industry to get into, and it's way more competitive than web, and that's why I choose to do web. But as you can see, I have courses on top of courses on top of courses on top of more courses. I have pre-algebra explained. I have new DOM tutorial. This guy is actually a pretty good teacher, Clyde Matthew, in teaching JavaScript. But as you can see, I have bajillion courses. So obviously my excuse to learn is definitely not the courses that we have found. Weirdly, I'm learning piano, right? 1% complete. Math classes that I didn't even start. Master fundamentals of math, master algebra. But as you can see, courses go on forever and ever and ever. So there's no excuse to learn. I have so many courses, and I'll kind of show you some of the course recommendations that at least I have on this account for those of you who are looking to start learning. But let me know in the comments below, what's the place you guys go to find your courses? Where do you go to study? What are you doing for your learning? Like, I definitely like to know. We're getting closer to the end. And I think these are all the courses that I didn't archive. And obviously, you know, a lot of these courses I didn't even start yet and didn't even do yet. And so this really brings up a very interesting point. How many courses have you guys bought and finished? I really want to know, like, what is your, you know, I guess completion rate on the courses that you're doing? As you saw, I have lots of different courses, lots of different stuff. And at the end of the day, is it, why are we buying courses and never finishing them? What is the issue? I love this. DJ Norris takes an impressive amount of courses. That's just on my new Udemy account. I have another account that has more courses than that. And so there's, I think, this idea of like procrastination through doing courses. So ultimately, a lot of times, maybe because we don't feel confident enough, because we haven't tried building anything on our own. And the reason why we didn't try to build anything on our own is because we feel like, damn, I don't think I know enough, so let me buy 10 more courses. Let me buy 20 more courses. Whatever, how many courses you get, it's just never ending, you know, cycle of tutorial hell, never ending, going and going and going, and nothing ever gets done. And at the end of the day, there's so many courses out there and they will never stop. Every week, every hour, there's going to be a new course coming out. So maybe it's not the courses. Maybe it's the strategy we use to learn that is preventing us from doing stuff. So greetings, Adrian from Argentina. Always great to have you here. 100 completion on Udemy. DJ Norris, you saying that to me, I am not surprised. And guys, he's going to be on next show. Do not miss. Once you hear what DJ Norris has to say, you guys going to be not surprised either. And he does kind of, you know, touches on just the brief conversation I have with him via text on a very important idea, and this idea of discipline and what it really means and what it means to pay the price and do what you need to do regardless how you feel about it. I would say he's like the Jacko Wilkins of web development, DJ Norris. That's what I'm going to call you. That's it. Because that is really important. Having the discipline to do what it takes, no matter how you feel about it, every day, every hour, every minute is the key. And knowing the price that you want to pay. It is so important to kind of understand that it takes work, and the work that you're going to do is hard. And a lot of us, we think we're working hard, but maybe we're not working, or I guess working hard and smart, and maybe we're not doing everything we need to. Maybe we're spinning our wheels, and maybe we don't have a dedicated plan to help us get to where we're going. So we will talk a little bit about today, and then also going to talk more with DJ Norris when he comes on. It's going to be an amazing talk. I'm glad I met him through Tech Rally. And for right now, I'm trying to save time learning a completely new subject. I usually use Udemy, otherwise I use the docs. Yes, and you reading the docs is super important, and learning is super important. But what I'm going to say to DJ Norris also, I'm going to say it, he also bought a bunch of classes from Coding Phase and learned from there. And what I'm going to say, like, I'm throwing out Udemy, I'm throwing out Coding Phase, so I'm throwing out a bunch of other things. But I'm going to tell you this, if he didn't have that and just use strictly YouTube to learn, or just use strictly insert name of school here, he would succeed. And it's because of his attitude and his commitment to doing everything it takes until it works, until he makes it. And so in his case, I'm safe to say that it doesn't matter what course he took. It doesn't matter what he studied. You know, it's that he's disciplined enough to follow through to get stuff done. And we'll talk more about it. Let me just say hello on the comments here. Yassine, what's up? I was stuck in Vanilla.js, but now I moved on to React.js and I'm building stuff. Greetings from Switzerland, big fan. Hey, I love you too. And yeah, being stuck in Vanilla.js, not moving, and there's many reasons for that. Some reasons is I just don't feel comfortable enough, or maybe I need to master JavaScript to be productive with React. And the truth is, you don't have to master everything. You just have to be confident or comfortable enough with enough stuff to get started on the project you're working. And notice I said to get started. I didn't say to finish it completely, because that stuff you could learn as you go along. And that's the point, is start learning through building projects. I'm going to tell you and show you my new strategy, because my recommendation has been, as soon as possible, start building a big cornerstone project, a project that is going to, you know, get you a job. And that could be a bug tracker is a good one. You could build a, you know, a billing app that manages different accounts and allows you to make invoices that you could send based on the amount of work you did, but stuff that not only showcases your front end, but also showcases that you know how to connect in an API, a back end, either that you built yourself, or in my case, I love Strappy. I use Strappy a lot. You implemented with Strappy, but you're able to do the whole gamut of the CRUD applications: create, read, update, and delete. It's all super important. By the way, I want to say thank you guys for joining this live stream. It's always awesome to have you. So if you haven't smashed the like button, smash the like button, because it does make it easier for others to find this awesome stream, guys. So let's keep going down the comments. Hey, yeah, everybody's chatting with each other. I love it. It's amazing. Hey Christian, great to see you. I'm doing well. Thanks for dropping in and saying hello. I hope you're having a wonderful weekend. I hope you guys all have a productive weekend. But let me know in the comments. I know like there's a bunch of you guys here. Like, I'd love to know what resources you use to study. What have you been doing to study, to learn? I'll go back to my screen if you're just joining in to show my impressive but not complete, because I have 2 accounts for Udemy, of all the courses that I have, and like 139 courses, and majority of courses I didn't complete. I'm going to be straight up honest with you. And so the idea here, it's not the course. When you're learning to code, it's putting in the work, putting in the effort, and having a plan. So now you see it here, I have Next.js, I have C#, I have JavaScript and CSS. This is the most amazing course I took. I'm 70% done with it. I'm going to have this guy on, not live, but we are going to do interview. I think if you are going to check out the Udemy course, his course is amazing, but I'll talk more about it later. I did, you know, JavaScript, Electron, you know, more Electron, ASP.NET. Then I have some random courses in Lua and gaming, which I shouldn't be taking if my goal is to become a web developer. So number one, when you're learn to code, when you're getting started on your coding journey, the most important thing you have to understand is that you cannot, and I mean you can't, it's impossible, you can't learn everything. And so when picking a path, if you're younger, I guess it doesn't matter, because you could try a bunch of different stuff. You could try a little bit of everything because you have time on your side. You're not old like me, where you're 41 years old or going to be 41, and you're trying to, you know, get a job, switching careers late in life, and you're trying to learn everything. You don't have the time to learn everything. You can't experiment. So rule number one when you learn to code is do your research and figure out what stack you should be learning. Is it C# with ASP.NET? Very amazing path. Is it doing Laravel with PHP? You know, there's jobs around there. Is it doing what I did, which is studying JavaScript and React and making my entry point through React? Do your research in your area and see what jobs are available, what's being hired, and make sure you find something that everybody's using. I mean, like Firebase, there's so many projects using Firebase, but I'm yet to find a job listing which calls on Firebase as their backend technology. I just didn't see it. So spending 4 months that I did messing and building projects in Firebase wasn't a complete waste of time, but it didn't help me, you know, in terms of the job that I have and the things that I was doing. So it's kind of important to pick a technology that is going to help you get the job that you want. And whatever it is, ASP and C# or React and JavaScript, or maybe it's going to be PHP and WordPress, maybe it's going to be Angular, whatever it is, only learn that path. Only stay focused on that path like you have blinders until you get the first job. Do not hopscotch around, because every time you hop, every time you hop, every time you hop, every time you hop and hop and hop, you waste time. You lose focus, you lose momentum, and you need that momentum to be able to get the job, your first job that you want. And if you're younger, you're in high school, it's irrelevant. You could try whatever you want. But if you're in your later 30s, early 30s, you got to really, start to get focused. You really got to narrow your thing down. So let's jump in the comments here. Yep. Greetings from Brazil. I love the community, man. I love you, 3D Games. Thank you for jumping in on this live stream. We're going to have a blast. Talk about best ways to learn programming. And it's going to be amazing. All right. Christian, Noriel, again, I'm doing Shopify development right now with Shopify API as my backend and React.js, Next.js, or Gatsby as my front end. And I love this answer because I could tell you thought about the technologies you want to use and you picked your stack. And now you're just building projects in a very niche market. And Shopify is popular. And I love the fact that you're using React.js. And I like how you have Next.js or Gatsby. I've done a couple of projects with Gatsby. I'm starting to really fall in love with Next.js the best. And so I only focus now either making something with React, or if it's going to be like a static website, like a blog, or maybe like a store, I'm going to use Next.js. But I like how you have a focus on doing what you're doing. And what I would say to you, because I know there are jobs available in what you chose, continue on that path until you get hired. And I'm not even sure if you have a job yet, but I just wanted to say, if you don't have a job, if you stick to your plan, you're going to get there. Just don't skip, scabble, and hop, because it's very wasteful for your momentum. Hey Paul, how are you splitting your time between learning C# and the front end? So that's a great question, and I'm lucky in that regard because at my job, I am kind of considered a quasi full stack developer. And the reason why I say quasi is because I got hired as a front end developer. And as soon as I got hired, they told me to start learning C#. And then they started giving me assignments in the back end. So I kind of was forced into the role. And so at my job, when I get stuck, I look stuff up while I work. And so not only do I have the opportunity to learn C# at work, but I also do study it at home. And what I do is when I learn C#, I don't try to learn kind of everything that it has to offer. I'm a React developer first. So for me, in my personal case, learning MVC with C# makes no sense. So I am very focused on the fact that the only aspect of C# outside of learning the syntax for the language is I work on learning everything about web APIs with ASP.NET. And that's the only thing I do. And so because of my job, of course, I get more time. But for my personal projects, I have a React, I'll give you an example, React application that originally was hosted on Strapi because I didn't want to build my back end. And so now what I'm doing is using C# to write the back end for that front end application that I did. So I only do the things that complement my React journey. And so that's kind of something that helps me. But what I would say, and I showed a couple of courses I have on Udemy. I had Lua, I had a bunch of other stuff. I would not do any of those courses because they do not fit into my journey that I'm trying to get to. Jose, I think the hardest part is to choose the best course suited for you. Too many courses, but some out there, and there's some of them are not that great. Yes, and that's true. And if you want recommendations for some courses that are awesome, and Jose, let me know, what path are you on? What are you trying to learn? What are you trying to get to? What are you trying to accomplish? Because we are going to talk about best ways to learn and about today in terms of what's the most efficient way, at least from my discovery that I found out. So let me know in the comments, guys, how you've been learning to code, where you've been learning. If you're just joining us, we're going to talk about best way to learn web development. And obviously, I'm some guy on the internet, so it's definitely going to be my opinion. But as you saw from my previous screen here of all the courses that I have, the problem is not the courses that I have. The problem is it's easy to jump around. So I addressed the first issue. The first issue was, it's just trying to learn whatever. And the fact is, you can't learn whatever. You need to pick a goal. You need to find out what stack you want to commit to and just stay to that stack until until you get your job. So what I'm going to show you here now, thinking about learning. So here's a website. I didn't create this website. So the reason why I'm showing to you guys, now if you're able to create everything this website has to offer, everything this website has, like the cards, the whatever this section is, having these effects that you do with CSS and stuff like that, like if you're able to create this on your own, you could get a job. Not only can you do that, you could also learn about Shopify API or whatever and make this a store. And this is basically an online store that sells courses. Now, this is the layout I found out on ThemeForest, so I didn't make this, I didn't create this, but this is a layout that we have here. And so if you're able to build all these things, and when you're starting out, it's kind of hard to start and build a site because you don't know where to start, you don't know what to do. You might be learning HTML and CSS, you might be just starting out. So here's the thing, your goal is to always build a bigger project like so, something that's going to be a complex, very fleshed out project. The reason why I picked this online, if you could build an online education where you have login and registration, you have your courses that you're able to sell, you have the product reviews, you're able to add to cart, and then on top of that you also have a section where people are able to take courses like in your through this e-learning program. If you could do all that stuff and it's in your portfolio, you're going to get a job. But when you're starting out, when you're a beginner, you might not know where to start. So this is what I started doing. I find a website, and instead of trying to build a whole thing, I tried to build relevant components that are going to help me build this in the future. You know what I'm saying? Like, we all know we need the navigation. We all know we need buttons. We all know the here section. So what I started to do, it's like, okay, look at this awesome card. Wow, this card is great. Like, I wonder how they did it. And so what I did, bam, I created the same card. I created the same component. And the reason why I made this component is because every website that's a sales course website has a card where you show the sale, you show the number of students enrolled, how many lessons it has, you make the ability if people click on it to go to the sales page. So this is a component that is very useful and something I could use in my big site. And now I don't have to build another card because I just did it. I know how to do it with HTML and CSS. Then I would come back to the website and be like, okay, how did they build this section? How did they build these cards? And then I would make these cards. Now I didn't get this far, but my goal is to recreate this piece by piece, and I'm going to put these tutorials online for you guys to see how I did it, and you guys could follow along. But you build everything piece by piece, kind of like I'm doing here, and you are creating a library of components that you could put together like blocks of Lego pieces, and you'll be able to build your project. And that's where you start when you're a beginner. Don't do stupid random stuff like a quote generator. Where the you're going to use a quote generator? I know I built one, and that was a waste of my time. You know what I mean? I built a Kanye West quote generator, but it was waste. I mean, yeah, I learned a little bit JavaScript. I learned a little bit React, but outside of me talking about on this stream with you guys, oh, that's not it. But the reason I bring this up to show you is because this is another component I built for my bug tracker app. But you see that if you're starting out and you can't build a big component, start with the little components that your big component consists of. So I made this Kanye West quote generator. When am I ever going to use this as a website? So yeah, I learned a little bit, but for what? I can't take this and put it in a project. I can't use it as a building block unless I'm making a website that makes fun of Kanye. Like, I don't really know. So a smarter solution is to piece by piece find kind of sites that you like to model and recreate every component, like the nav, the card, something that is useful, that by learning how to make it on its own, you could then combine it together and build full projects. So let me quickly jump into the chat before continuing chattering about, because I could talk nonstop. And yeah, so let's say hello to some more people here. Jose is learning JS right now and wants to get into Shopify dev. Fantastic. We had Christian, give us some good ideas. Learn JavaScript, learn Next.js. I mean, learn React first, then learn Next.js, and then learn the Shopify API, and you're good to go. So, and let that be your path to your job, to your career. But I always say, don't flip-flop around, don't move around, be, focused on what you need to do. DJ Norris, that's because Firebase is meant for quick prototyping and MVPs. Generally start up with quickly shift as a self-managing DB. And you know what? I'm glad that you said it, but I'm yet to find a lot of other people say that before recommending Firebase. They just use it because it is very easy to create the minimum viable product to get started. And that's what a lot of people use it for. But I wish people said it. I wish people said, look, this is not what you're typically going to use, and we're just using it because we want to bring something to market really quickly to, get our investors sold on the product that we're building, and then once we get the money, we're going to change it and do whatever. But for me, as a developer who's looking to work at a company, it is not the best use of my time learning Firebase, and it's more important to be familiar more with like an SQL database, like SQL, Postgres, or even MongoDB. It would just be much more easier. Adrian, Paul, you should make videos about the Udemy courses you like most. And I will do that. And since you answered that, I will come back and show you my Udemy courses that I have here and give some quick recommendation. And I want to make more reviews about it. And I will, of courses you guys should take. And what I want to do, and next week I'm doing an interview. It's not going to be live. It's going to be recorded with somebody who made a course that's here on Udemy. And I'll show it to you guys. And I want to actually get a bunch of instructors do some interviews with me. I think it'll be cool for everybody. What would be the best way to monetize a web app if you would combine a free or paid version with extra features? Now, that's a very interesting question. And look, I'm not a business owner. I'm not an entrepreneur, but it's like I'll use an example of this YouTube channel. Now, I want to sell courses and I want to make money. And if I just made a course, like if you just made an app, who am I going to sell to? You don't have a following. I don't have a following. So it's not the fact how would you monetize your app. Free features versus like paid features. Is there a demand for that application you're trying to build? Is there a market? So the first thing you would do is do some market research and find out, number one, has an app similar to yours has been created? If not, the answer is that maybe not that you have the best idea in the world, but maybe it's because a lot of people thought about your idea and they just felt that there was no market. So you much rather pick an app that exists, very popular, and then figure out how you could make it better. And it doesn't have to be exactly, like it. Like right now, that chat app, where you speak, I forgot what it's called. The voice app is popular, like chat room voice app, whatever it's called. It's basically same thing as like, in my opinion, Instagram is, except, well, not Instagram, pick like whatever, but you just talk, whatever. Bad example. I'm bad at giving examples. But the point is, if you have an app idea, but you don't know if there's a market there, and you don't know if people are going to be willing to pay you money because you did not do the market research, you try to create that app. It's like the egg before the chicken. It's going to be a waste of your time. It's probably not the answer you're looking for, but that's how you start. People don't make apps and then try to sell them. People find customers first who have a problem that they could solve, and then they build that app. Especially if you're a smaller company, because you can't take a chance wasting all this money for research and development and then realize once your app is done that it's not going to sell. So that's the answer for that. That's what I would say about that, and super important to kind of understand that when you're going through the process. Yeah, Shopify is hot right now. I'm doing apps. I love the apps for that platform. I have a friend, Vadim, he lives in the city. He actually just switched to Shopify to work there, and he no longer works as a developer because he now moved up and does more of a management role because he's been a developer for 20 years now. And he told me the same thing. It's hot right now, and there's, so much business that they're doing that you can't go wrong with learning how to integrate Shopify or developing for Shopify as a job, kind of thing. Now, a lot of people push Shopify. For me, I push, pick one stack, learn React and JavaScript and be able to connect it to API, because once you know that, and then if you want to learn Shopify development following a React kind of path, you could just learn their API and combine two together. Or you could do, other languages that Shopify uses for your development. I'm not a big Shopify guy, but I definitely know that it's hot right now and that you can't go wrong, learning it. Let's see, I'm kind of jumping all over the chat because it's not in order for me for one reason. Hey, what's up everybody? Hey, Creative with Code, great to see you here. How do I feel about Tailwind CSS? Now, here's my answer. There's pros and cons. And first of all, to showcase that I'm using Tailwind, I actually working on a Tailwind project. I'm going to quickly see if I could find it here. And then I'm building this particular application with Next.js. So it's in my Next.js folder. And it's I think it's the Next.js blog. I have two projects. Let's see here. Yes, this is not it. So I'm glad that I wasted my time going into here. So Tailwind is cool, but I think it's also like another one of those things that not widely adopted right now, that there's majority companies that don't use it yet. So learning Tailwind, I think it's useless from the standpoint of getting a job, but I think it's useful if you want to put up a really cool website and you want to style it really quickly. Now the problem, I think, that it's not very well adopted is because it's fairly new, not everybody's using, and also when they use specific classes defined by Tailwind that you could put directly into HTML or JSX, and basically your code looks like a bunch of different classes that you put in that are structured by Tailwind. And the issue, I'm not sure how they're going to handle it when they release a new version. How are they not going to mess up the classes that maybe they're going to have override, and then all of a sudden you pull the new code and your previous app breaks? Also from the development standpoint, because it's weird classes like PYX or H with something, whatever it is, you don't know what the CSS is because all you see is the classes, and new person coming in looking at your website, I'll kind of show you this in just a second, they're not going to know what the hell's going on, and I'll show you exactly what I mean. I just can't talk and type at the same time, so let me stop here. Now, I'm using wonderful yeah, I believe it's this one, I think, not sure, we're about to find out. No, it's not it. I built it on my other computer. Damn it. Okay, so I'm gonna show you something easier. So it's on the wrong computer. I don't have it here, but I'm gonna go to Tailwind. This is not Tailwind. Tailwind CSS documentation. Okay, come on, go. I'm live, guys. My computer can't be going slow. So it allows you to quickly create beautiful stuff. Now, their documentation is great. You could learn a lot, but it's kind of like Bootstrap in a sense that you add all your styling inline and you're able to style your sites for very quickly. And it allows you to just put stuff in your HTML. And I'm going to show you a code example in a second. We go to components here. Let's sign in. I don't think I need to sign in. So they have this amazing library. And to kind of cheat, instead of creating amazing layout from scratch, I just use these components in my personal website /blog slash portfolio site that I'm using. So if you want to make something that you know is going to work using something like Tailwind CSS or Material UI or Bootstrap, I like this because this template is already made. There's nothing wrong with getting a template and using it, because look how beautiful this looks. This is very easy. But here's what I'm talking about. I'm going to use HTML code. Look at this. This is ugly. This is ugly. You put in your inline classes and it's great, it works, but where's the CSS file? Like, you know, like you have to, like, you basically don't know how this works behind the hood. So for production apps, I think it's not, you know, I wouldn't use it unless your company is sold on just using Tailwind specifically. But the idea, it's like, as a developer, when you're coming in, like, you literally have to learn what all these classes mean to be able to be like functional with Tailwind. Now, they do make cool websites and it's really responsive and it works. But the issue that I have is that I don't like this inside classes, because if you wanted to pull Tailwind out of your application, you will have to write all the CSS from scratch. It's going to be very hard to do it piece by piece. Now, there's a workaround of writing these classes instead of your like HTML and element containers, writing them inside a CSS file, which is kind of like a slightly better step, because that way you don't have to remove and change the classes. You give your own classes, but you just change it inside the CSS file. But this is just like kind of like ugly, and so it's not widely adopted yet. But I'm gonna say I'm using it in my Next.js blog. What I like about it is going to make my site look amazing without too much effort. And if you're just the one solo creator, it's perfect. So that's my thought on Next.js. Let's gonna jump back to more comments before I continue spewing and dropping bombs of ridiculousness on you guys. Coding out there, I'd like to compilation from you to Yep, I like to see a compilation of courses that you like the most and best from front end to back end. And I'll show some of that today on this stream. But yeah, there's so many courses. Like I said, just pick the courses that you like and stick to them. Don't like flip-flop around and jump around. Coding After 30 is learning Next.js as important as learning React.js as a web developer. I'm a newbie. I know React.js is important, but I don't know about Next.js. So basically, it's the next natural step. If you learn React, right? React, everything is front side rendered. And basically, when React application loads, you kind of like I don't know if I have a good example, but let's see here. Let's see in view page source. So when a React application loads, like, this is a terrible example, but this is kind of will shoot my point across. Like, it will have like a root ID here where your JavaScript generates all your HTML and CSS, but it's not going to showcase the rest of the site. Like, you know, you're not going to see it. So it's not good for SEO. Like, there's different works around it, but it's just, you know, unless you take the steps to make it SEO friendly, it's not going to be good if you want to make a blog that you want to be searchable, where Next.js allows you to add, you know, containers for the meta tags, the keywords, the description, and then it renders everything on the server, and then it pushes it to the front end. And what happens when your front end loads, basically, I'm trying to find an example of what I mean. I probably don't have a good example here. Yeah, like this is HTML and CSS site. Oops. Yeah, I'm realizing you guys can't see my screen. Well, waste of time on my part. But basically what I'm saying, if you want to make, and I'll kind of like come back to that later, if you want to make SEO-friendly website, Next.js is something you want to use. But the transition in terms of learning, learn React first, build a couple of projects with React, and then jump in, learn Next.js, because it's still React. It's just the difference is it is server-side rendering, where basically it renders everything on the back end and serves up HTML files, where React renders everything on the front end. But in terms of learning and moving forward, if you're going to be a React developer, you're going to eventually learn React Next. Gatsby.js is great, but I think it's, if you're looking to get hired, I think React and Next.js will give you better chances. And if you're looking to freelance and you're building blogs or small business static websites, I think Gatsby.js is great too. Let's see here. Lol. A bunch of minutes ago, I should have read this earlier, but yeah, Clubhouse. Clubhouse is that next app. Yeah, that's it. Some more good wisdom here. Shopify app development is the next goal after doing theme development. Yes, there's a lot of business Shopify. There's definitely, plenty of stuff to keep you guys going. Hey, a few weeks back, I was talking about having an issue finding my new job. Good news, I found one, working a bunch with Next.js too. Man, congratulations. That's awesome. Like, that is phenomenal. Congratulations, man. A big round of applause. Glad that you were able to get a job. So see, you put in the work, you do what's necessary, and you're going to get there. And for that, we're gonna do applause because it's game on. So anyway, guys, we're talking. If you haven't liked the stream, like the stream because it helps others to discover it. But what I'm gonna do first, because a bunch of you guys asked, Adrian asked about some of the Udemy classes that I would recommend. Let me start there. I briefly talked about how you should learn, meaning learn to build smaller components that will then be able to put together like puzzle pieces to get you built the full website. So let me go to my screen share. Let me go back to my Udemy. I don't know where it went, so I'll just open a new thing. So, and let me know in the comments, let me know like what course you want me to tell you about. Is it HTML and CSS? Is it JavaScript? Is it whatever? So I'm going to start with the course with the instructor I'm going to have to do a video with, because it is phenomenal. So here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. When you're starting web development, there's two aspects. You could be a web designer, which is basically creating the website, creating the layout. You're not even coding, although you might learn some HTML, CSS. But what you're doing is you're creating the design. You're picking the colors. That's not what I do. I'm not a web designer. I'm a web developer. So for me to know how to design something from scratch, it will never be a thing that I have to do, because in most companies, and I have a friend who's a senior developer, they have a whole department of UI people that will give him a Photoshop PSD file, and they basically will ask you to create it from scratch. And what I mean here, before I show you that course, is that I love ThemeForest. That's where I get all my ideas and themes. Downloads. So I just, where's one where it's just a Photoshop file? I think it's this one. Yeah, so this is just a Photoshop file. And basically what happens, a designer will give you something that looks like this, and it'll be more detailed than this. They'll give you like a Photoshop file like this, and it will have like measuring lines. So it'll tell you the padding from here is this, or the margin from here, this height is this, we're using this type of font. But this is not a website. Look, I click, nothing happens. This is just a Photoshop file. And basically what your job is to take this Photoshop file based with the other stats that they gave you, based like on the spacing, like what this is, and be able to recreate it with HTML, CSS. So if you want to learn building websites, so this is like part of how the best way to learn to code, outside of building the individual components, work off a Photoshop mockup file. Buy one for $8 like this one. You get a complete mockup. This is amazing. Some designer made this. It's a full website. If you're able to take 80% of this mockup and recreate it with HTML, CSS, 100% getting a job. So the practice is you need to be able to work from a mockup. Now, is that how a lot of courses start? None of them. And I mean, none of them would accept one. None of the HTML and CSS courses start like that. Like here, like we're gonna rant a little bit. They all start with the instructor who already created a website, and all they do is they literally start typing the code, they start typing the CSS, and they don't tell you like exactly what was the thought process going behind the design. Why did they do it? They don't even tell you, look, in real life, the way it's going to work, you're going to have this design, it's going to have, you know, certain requirements, and you have to translate it to HTML and CSS. No courses do that, but that's what you're going to do at work as a web developer, especially starting out. Is someone's going to give you design and you got to recreate it. And that's why it's important for you guys to understand that, because that's what I do at my job. I just follow what the UI guys did and I recreate it. So this course right here, I bought it 70% done from Hossein here. Like, amazing guy. He's gonna do some interviews with me. But here's, like, he has a lot of stuff. He goes over the theory. I recommend this course for everybody who's learning HTML and CSS. This should be like your first course you get as an introduction. But, and I used to recommend Travesty course, which is also an amazing course. But I like this a lot because it comes from the standpoint of you learn the basics of user experience. You learn about interface design. You learn color theory, typography. You don't have to be an expert, graphic designs, but you do need to understand the general point here. Next, you learn HTML, you learn CSS, you learn CSS Grid and Flexbox. Then you learn how to work with from Photoshop to CSS. And this is the most important part. So what he does here, and I'm gonna, yeah, this course I recommend 100%. This is what I was trying to say. I'm going to make my screen bigger. This is the type of markup you get. This is some of the data you're going to have. And this is what I'm saying. You're going to get a Photoshop file that's going to have all these you know, requirements. It's going to have the, there's another page here. I just, you know, don't want to scroll through the video. Like, maybe I'll scroll through the video to show you. But basically, you get the design document. I think that's what it's called. I think it's stuck. No worries. No worries. Okay. Never mind. But basically, you get the design document, and you need to be able to look at the design and recreate this. And that is the first and most important skills of web developers, to be able to look at design and be able to make pixel perfect HTML and CSS recommendation. And that is why I recommend that you guys get this course. By the way, any courses I recommend, I don't get any payback. I don't get any money. But I would only recommend courses that I either took or believe in, and you could take this as a serious course, because this is the course I'm working on. Going through Bootstrap Grid, which is cool. Like, so I don't know if you guys knew, you could use all of Bootstrap, but I hate Bootstrap, to be honest with you. I don't like it, but I do like the responsiveness of Bootstrap. So instead of downloading all of Bootstrap, you just download the Grid, which basically allows you to make things responsive in a very easy way, so it doesn't give you a headache. And what he does is he walks you through the most common things to use to make, you know, responsive websites by basically using the power of Bootstrap Grid. And then, you know, he goes over Bootstrap. So I'm 70% done with this course. Look at that. I committed to this course. I'm going to finish this course, and I definitely recommend this. And I'm going to have him on to kind of explain why he made this course and why this is important for anybody doing any web development. So this is a course that I recommend. Let me jump back to the comments a little bit. So this is UI UX web design hybrid with HTML and CSS. And this course was made in 2021. So it's a brand new course. And this guy is amazing. Love your course. It is fantastic. But okay, let's come back to the chat first a little bit. Look at your questions. Scrolling. I'm just glad I don't have that many viewers at the same time and subscribers, because keeping up with chat is going to be impossible. Yeah, I like the idea of Photoshop PTSD file. Yeah, moving forward. Yeah, it's a great tip. You know, I don't make any of this stuff up. It's just the fact. This is kind of what you have to be able to do. Yep, Christian, 100% agree. You can never go wrong with the React.js ecosystem. Lots of jobs and opportunities. 100%. I'm going to do React until it's no longer popular. But if you're really good at JavaScript, whatever next JavaScript-based framework comes out, and it's going to be another framework eventually at some point, you're going to be able to learn it quick. But React 100% is the way to go. Luke, what's up? Great to see you. Dude, coding is making me feel like a real dummy, dumb. I feel like that every day. like a complete idiot. The more I learn, like before I used to feel hopeful and excited. Now I'm just like, damn, there's so much to learn. It's like a black hole that sucks you in and it will destroy you if you allow it. That's why I tell you guys, pick and choose the stack that's popular, that you know has a future and people are hiring in your area, and just focus on that stack. Don't branch out too much because it's gonna be really tough. But yeah, the more I think I know, like I felt more confident when I started about coding, because I was like, this is easy, which it's not easy, it's super hard. And now that I've been in the industry for a while, I'm like, this shit's hard. It's a lot of work and constant learning, and there's so much stuff that I don't know, but somehow it's making sense and I'm able to move forward. By the way, you guys, joining the stream, you haven't like it because it helps other people discover this, maybe not the most amazing stream, but pretty close. And by the way, thank you guys. Every time you guys join me, it makes me feel so happy, because it's because of you guys I have this community, and this is because of you able to have this channel. If you guys didn't come in, if you guys didn't like, if you guys didn't, sub and tell me how much value you're getting from it and give your suggestion, like I would not exist. So my love goes to you guys. Thank you very much. Hey Luke, I'm already working in software testing. Do you think that'll be looked in favorably by employers? Yes, of course it will. And so you do QA basically, and what I wanted to ask is I do want to pick your brain. Definitely at some point, Luke, would love to have you jump in on the stream whenever you're available. I want to talk about QA, because I know a bunch of people that asked me about QA, and they said that there's, positions around, and you could, maybe if you don't think web development starting out is going to be the best track for you, you could start with QA or do the opposite. But I'd love to hear more details about it. I was actually thinking of going to take a QA bootcamp, because it's pretty affordable. They guarantee an internship, even though I already have a job. But the reason I wanted to do this is because I figured that learning to test, not only manual testing, but automatic testing, is going to make me a better developer. And I think it will help me to better understand test-driven development. And I think it's 100% going to help you, because from the standpoint of testing the code, you know what to expect. So as a developer, you're not going to be making some of these mistakes that a pure developer makes, who doesn't understand, or maybe of course they understand, but maybe not sure how a user would use the product they're making, and not be able to see certain edge cases which will break the app. So I think it's super, super, super important. Yeah, Jose, that UX course is awesome. I'm going to finish it to the end. I'm going to have the guy to help me make a video, because I want to pick his brain about why he made the course. It is one of the best courses out there, and I'm just ashamed that he's not making more courses. But he works as a UX UI guy, and so I get it. You have a full-time job, that's what you do. And let's see, Australia is, I'm so bad with names, so I'm going to butcher them all. I like the small community, and you're excellent about it, and your excitement about in the industry. I'm sure if you keep it up, the channel will grow. Yeah, thanks, man. One day it's going to grow. And I love chatting with you guys. And so this is awesome. And eventually I do want to make a business, teaching and selling courses. And I'm going to do some tutorials on this channel, but I'm not going to make this a tutorial channel, because I love talking. I love being this wild guy. And so and some people like to watch content like that. Some people like to, just watch the channel which just do tutorials, because they ultimately want to do is find a practical tutorial that they could do, jump into, get the knowledge, and move on. They don't want to hear some guy like me chattering and wasting their time with their 2 cents. And the reason, and this was an idea of mine for a while, but I wanted to build some followers first, and becoming an instructor and making awesome tutorials is my long plan. And so let's see here. I don't even know if I'll be able to find this new channel that I'm trying to start. It's called Practical Web Development. It has 0 videos, and of course, because it's brand new, no one will ever gonna find it. I have a lot of, here you go, I have a lot of, if you screenshot, you will see all my other YouTube channels that I do nothing with. But yeah, I'm going to start a channel, because I want to place, because I have a Slack community, and I want to make tutorials, of course, for them to be able to use and learn. up, 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 clicking wrong buttons, nothing too serious. But this is going to be the next channel. Practice on, and you guys can't see anything. Why don't you guys yell at me, tell me I can't see your screen? But this is going to be my channel, which will be no talking head videos at all. You won't see my face on this channel. So someone who's not familiar with me as Coding After 30 will not even know that I'm behind this channel, because they'll never see my face. All it is going to be screen capture, just tutorials on how to build web development stuff. And the layout of it is going to be pretty simple, because all I'm going to do is follow this approach where we're going to pick a website like this one, and we're going to pick a component, and then I'm going to walk you through, you know, how to build that component like we're doing here, you know. And so like I'm losing my track of thought here. So we're going to build components, like we're going to build the card, we're going to build navigation, and after a bunch of videos you're going to have enough building blocks to be able to complete a final project, a final website. And what I like about this channel is just going to be learning. It's just going to be just instructional videos. You're not going to see my face talking about this wild stuff and making jokes, whatever. It's straight to the point. And I think it's good, because I want to have a channel where people are not distracted by this wild attitude that I have, and it's more about actually building the stuff that we want. And I could give you a quick preview, but the general idea, I'll keep coming back to it. The way it's going to work is we're going to vote on a website that everybody, and at the beginning, because I don't have any subscribers, go subscribe to the channel now so I could have at least one subscriber. It's Practical Web Development, something, I don't even know the name of the channel, but yeah, Practical Web Development, weekly tutorials to help you learn and build. Subscribe, smash that subscribe button. All right, okay, we smashed it too much, but that's what it's going to be. And the cycle, we're going to pick a site, kind of like we have this one right here, and we're going to, I kind of started with the card because I was kind of curious how they did it, but we're going to start from the navigation, the hero section, these little cards, whatever this is, to whatever, more and more and more. And we're going to build these components individually. I'm going to show you how I do it, and we're going to learn web development while building these small components. And the structure is going to be easy. We're going to first build it with CSS. Look at this nicely written CSS. Beautiful. I don't know if it's beautiful, but at least I put some comments to let people know what sections they're in. And obviously there's zero JavaScript, because this is not a JavaScript tutorial yet. This doesn't look as beautiful because it's crushed, but you write some beautiful HTML. But the general idea, we're going to build our component first with HTML and CSS. Boom. Then some of the functionality, like on click to, right now it's on hover, when click nothing happens, but we want to be able to, when we click the heart, we want it to turn red. And that's something we're going to do with JavaScript. So the first step, make HTML and CSS. Then we're going to come back, add JavaScript to this card. And then next, we're going to come back and redo the same component with React.js. And you're going to be learning like one step at a time to build these cards, to build these components. And that's all it's going to be. I started on my first video. It's complete garbage, but I think it's garbage. Let's watch a little preview. And then you guys can give me a feedback, tell me if I'm wasting my time. I'm going to see if the audio works, if you guys could hear it. I hope you guys could hear it. Let me turn the music down. Then we'll talk some more.
Hey guys, welcome to Practical Web Development, where we learn HTML.
It doesn't even sound like me. This guy is boring as hell. You know, like I'm wild. But the point is, I want to make tutorials. So I'm going to put it on 2-speed because I don't want to waste anybody's time. But this is kind of like what to expect from the tutorials I'm going to do, you know, and they're going to be free on YouTube. So, you know, but eventually I'm using this to basically learn how to teach and become amazing. So then I could, you know, charge money eventually, but only for tutorials that deserve your money, you know. So let's watch this.
CSS, JavaScript, and React, one small project at a time. In today's video, we are going to make this card. So I like browsing around the web, random websites, maybe something I find on ThemeForest, and then pick one element and try to recreate it. Here's 3 cards side by side. So this is some website that I found, and I think it's going to be awesome to recreate this card and show you how I did it. Now, this is a great way to learn web development, because not only are you learning as you go along by building small projects, after a while, you have learned how to build all these building blocks, like from the card, from these list items here, as well as the menu above, or anything that your heart desires, and you'll have all the building blocks required to have your first fully functional website. So let's jump in. As a web developer, you're not going to be creating your own designs, but you'll be working off a mockup. Now, mockups are a lot more detailed than the screenshot that I took, but it's great practice to learn how to look at the design and be able to translate it into HTML and CSS. This is your first step, and it all starts with drawing boxes. In HTML and CSS, basically, it's all about the box model, and it's exactly like it sounds. It's a box that surrounds every element that you have on the screen. We'll talk more about the box model, but basically, it's a set of inner boxes. The innermost box is your content. The second layer is the padding. After the padding, it's your border, and after that, it's your margin. That's it. If this red line represented the border, the margin would be outside of the border, the padding would be inside the border, surrounding the content. Now that we mastered the box model, you're pretty much all set. There's really nothing left to learn. No, seriously, this is one of the hardest things to wrap your mind around, so congratulations. So now let's draw some boxes and give them HTML elements. Here's our mockup. Before we start with this blank slate, let me show you kind of what we want to achieve. The first thing we want to do is draw a box around every HTML element that we're going to use. As you can see here, each element is represented by a box in our mockup. Hey, don't worry, we are going to do this part together. Starting with our outer box, it is our card component, which corresponds to our first div element. Next, we divide our component in two. We will have the top area with the picture, the heart, and the circle with the price, and the bottom area, which will have the rest of the content. There's still a couple of elements left to add, but you guys get the idea. Let's open VS Code and jump into actual coding. Hey guys, here I am inside VS.
Anyway, I'm not gonna make you guys watch the video, and the reason I want to show you that far, just give me some basic feedback. What do you guys think so far? Is it, because this is something that like I want to do, and I think because I'm wild, I love to joke around, and I think it's important for me to separate my wildness and this ridiculous attitude and have something that's more professional or semi-professional, something that could attract people based on the fact that they want to learn something and not my personality of like being this crazy dude online. And it really gives good value to people to be able to, get good tutorials, build the stuff, and eventually land their job. So the basic kind of formula for that course will be, we're going to find a website, we're going to pick common elements that everybody should learn and know how to build. We're going to build them together, and we're going to build it from the standpoint of HTML and CSS, basic JavaScript functionality for that HTML and CSS, and then building the same component with majority of the code done because of HTML and CSS, build it with React.js. And that will cover all our bases. And so that's all that channel is going to be about. That channel is just going to be faceless tutorials with a bunch of cat videos because, I don't know, I like cats. And the pace of it is going to be more open, cause sometimes someone's attitude or opinions turn people away. So I don't want it to be in a way where my opinion or my joke or whatever is going to turn people. I want it to be in a way where people just go there and they get the knowledge, they like the course, they enjoy the course, it makes them feel happy, but it doesn't have this drama. I'm not going to have Paul disagrees with coding face and why Tech Rally's voice is too sweet. None of that's going to exist there. And it's fun and it's good to hang out, but I want it to be strictly a great course for all of you guys to go and check it out. So I posted a link somewhere in the chat. You guys could be the first subscribers. I didn't post the first video yet. I will post it once it's done. And please be kind to that channel. Give it a lot of love and stuff. And let me know what anything else. So I recommended the HTML and CSS course. If you want to see some more courses on Udemy that I have that I recommend, just let me know in the comments. If you haven't liked this stream, I get it. I'm some random dude online, but you could still hit the like button if you didn't hit it, and we'll talk more. And again, this is more about you guys giving amazing feedback. So if I could have all you guys in voice chat, it would be amazing, and I would talk to you. But unfortunately, I can't have anybody. By the way, if anybody would ever want to jump live on the stream, like right now, anybody wants to show their face and say hello, let me know, because I would love to have you guys live because I think it's awesome. But with that being said, and no pressure. And I always want to get some good guests that will bring and provide value for all of you guys to learn stuff. But I mean, the community is awesome because of you and you guys only. I'm some dude, and I keep saying I'm a reflection of your amazing goodness that you guys bring to the community. So thank you for that so much. Let's kind of look. Yeah, they ask questions, ask me whatever, because I think yeah, we still got let's do another 20 minutes, 30 minutes or so. But the point is, I want to talk to you guys. I want to talk to you guys. Yes, looks good. Eventually merge them together on your own platform when you have a large audience. And that's 100% like what I'm looking to do, DJ Norris. I mean, I'm playing the long game, and that kind of website that I was creating with Tailwind was actually going to be the foundation to bring everything together, to create one place where people will be able to go to and have a subscription to full courses. And what I'm going to do is basically in the YouTube video, I'm going to build everything by one individual component, but in the paid course, like a year, 2 years from now, it's going to be from start to finish, building and releasing a completed project. So it's going to be a more organized approach, where the YouTube channel is going to be like, oh, this many people voted in the polls to do this component, let's do this component. But I think it's going to be amazing, and it's going to be great. Great. All right. Yes, 100% buy into you first. It's kind of as when I was talking about that, answering that question with the idea of like, how do I monetize my app? Well, you have to have a following of people that will actually want to pay you money first. And I totally agree. Buying into you first and your authority to teach this stuff is important. Building a following, and then the courses will sell themselves. So my goal is not to quickly come up with my course and try to sell to you the minimum number of people I have. My goal is to provide so much value on my YouTube channel, on my other YouTube channel, to a point that you feel so bad for me that you just want to give me money and buy my courses, because you're like, man, this guy did so much good for the community. He's always jumping on, he's always helping, because that's how you grow your business, is by giving amazing value. Here's a good one. Should I take notes when I learn? I found myself addicted to taking notes. I sometimes go farther. I go farther and write whole functions. What do you think? Yeah, you should be able to, like, everybody learns differently, so I don't want to say it's a blanket statement. I take notes on my iPad, and I think it's good to learn. And what I would say to that is, it's not so much if you should take notes. If it works for you, keep taking notes. Some people don't do well with notes, but the point and the greater like topic here at hand is figure out a strategy that allows you to learn in the most effective and efficient way. Now, I love video tutorials, and what I do is, this is what I do. I turn on here, I'm going to kind of show you my pretend example of how I learn. And I'm going to jump in here, and I'm going to do it really quickly because, again, I don't want to waste anybody's time, but this is the way I try to learn. Well, this is how I learn now. This is the new way Paul learns to code. And so what I do is I start, and let's pick a random tutorial. We'll pick this one, and we'll do like some video here. I realized I didn't turn the music back on. I'll turn it on in a second. And I watch the video.
Wrapper, and then I'm going to create 4 different containers which hold these items in the HTML document.
Notes.
So I'm going to name them balance, payment, due, activities.
So the point is, with the first video watch, I don't code along. I watch the video, I take notes of the most important things that he's mentioning, and I make a mental note. And then what I'll do is I switch to my VS Code. Do I have VS Code open? No, I don't have VS Code open. This is ridiculous. How can I not have VS Code open? So I'm just going to open whatever this project is. And I go to my VS Code, and I try, type my code, from based on the tutorial. I try to recall from my mind what it is. I'm like, oh, like what? Like I just learned. And when I get stuck, I go back and I review the video. What I'm not doing is watching the video and coding. Watching the video and coding. That's like, you're missing the most important step here, which is practicing recalling the information you just learned. So what you want to do is not, oh, in this video he wrote class whatever, and so I'm going to type CLA. You don't give enough time to think about what you just learned. So the better way is watch the video, stop the video, close this window, go to your whatever thing you use to write code, VS Code, have your notes, and try to recreate whatever you just watched from scratch. And at first it's going to be hard because you're going to be like, oh, I don't remember. Like, go review the video. Review the video again, and then come back. Don't look at the video. Wait 20 seconds. Think about, yes, he was talking about, he was talking about building a, something like, I'm just using example. He told us that, functional component in React is a regular function that returns JSX. So I'm going to call this test. Okay, what did he do here? Okay, right, and this is where JSX and code goes into, whatever I'm typing. And then you think, like, you don't copy, you recall from your goddamn brain. Like, I'm getting wild here, but that's the idea. And when you get stuck, let me undo all this stuff. You go back and you review the video. And the reason why I want you to do this is because this forces you to practice the most important part. It's not look and copy, look and copy, look and copy. It's look, think about it, recall the information, and do it. But a lot of people don't want to study like that because it's hard. But that's what I would recommend to you guys. And that's what I've been doing. And that's been like a really helpful way for me to learn and move forward. And I know if I'm talking common nonsense, if I'm talking nonsense and you haven't liked the stream, like the stream. I mean, we're just going to keep going at it, like knocking it out of the park as always, like we do here. So basically, if taking notes works for you, works for you. If the approach that I just showed you, the way I study works for you, works for you. But the most important, you have to understand, learning, part of learning and being able to do stuff on your own is being able to recall the thing that you learn, and so that's important to practice the recollection part. I love it. I said, if I'm talking complete nonsense, like the thing, and you liked it, man, lots of respect to you. I love you guys. And here we go. Here we go. Let's go in the comments here. I like how to the point was many video yammers. I'm a yammer, by the way. I'm going to admit it right now. Are about stuff that isn't related and want to learn how to use React and install Tailwind. Yeah. So yeah, and I do that still. And that's something that I'm trying to be conscious of and basically make sure that I make tutorials that are straight to the point. And the beauty of it, like you could always rewind, you could always rewatch it. And it's super important. And I love this. I vote for Luke to go live. Yes, I want. I think we're going to have an excellent conversation with Luke. He definitely sounds like a cool dude. All of you guys sound like cool dudes. And if any of you guys don't mind showing your face on live stream, you could always join, always jump on. It's going to be fun and amazing. So we'll come back to this in a second. Is there another course I would recommend on Udemy that I could show? And let's talk about, do you want a React recommendation? Do you want a like CSS? I'll do a course recommendation for React next. There's a couple. And then I'll also show you the course that I don't recommend as your first course. It's not that it's bad course. The course is quite good. I just don't agree with everything and how quickly they jump into Redux first before even talking about context API in React. And it'll just confuse you to a point where once you get to the point, you're just going to stop the course. Oh, this is amazing advice. Thank you. Take note if it helps. If you find that amount of your right takes away from learning, cut it back. But the best way to learn will always be to build your own stuff after learning it. And 100%, amen, brother. That's exactly what, like, if you want to be good at coding, code. If you want to be good at eating ice cream, eat ice cream. That's basically the way it works. And so let's do another Udemy recommendation, and then keep those comments coming. And before, let's finish this thread here. Let's see. Before we jump in back to Udemy, I generally take notes on things that I don't think I'll use often, like Docker commands. Yeah, and it's actually pretty good. Like stuff you're going to forget, it's great to have a note, or at least know where to find it. And a lot of times when I take notes, it's not so much writing everything down. It's just like like one term that will allow me to recall what that thing was and where to look it up. Like sometimes, like if I watch a Docker like video, like I'll literally put Docker services or whatever, and then like I'll just use that and be like, oh, that's what I was learning. And I'll just, because you could Google everything, you're only one couple of keystrokes away from finding the answer. So when I take notes, it's more to help me recall what to look up rather than stuff like that. Let's see here. Thank you for your effort. keep going. I keep going because of you guys. It's amazing. I'm also looking to start a Discord. I did have a Slack channel. I still have the Slack channel. It's getting pretty ridiculously big. And what I do on that channel, I do live coaching sessions, those who want to do it. On the weekends, I had one today with one of our subscribers. But Slack doesn't have certain features, so I'm looking to start a Discord channel, and I'll let you guys know. And the way I'm going to do this Discord channel, and you guys don't have to agree with me, but you guys could help me test the process. This is a website that I randomly have, that codingafter30.com, where eventually I want to put more tutorial articles like this one. Like if you're looking to build a forum, you could, if you like reading. I like watching videos, but some people enjoy reading. I don't know why, but I know why. It's much easier to use this as reference when you're building something like an article than to constantly scrub in a video and stuff like that. And I realize I'm not sharing my screen. Thank you for yelling at me, guys. So this is my blog site. One day I'll have more content, but I'm starting like testing of how this whole Discord thing works, and trying to see and get subscribers there. Now, Discord, here's the thing I was going to say, and I say this is where I'm going to get some hate. And I'm going to tell you why I'm doing, because I want to be open with you guys and the reason behind it, so you guys don't be like, oh, Paul is like blah, 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 blah. So normally people just send you a Discord link, you click the Discord link, and you sign up, and you boom in Discord. Now what happens, any Tom, Dick, and Harry could go in and join your community, which is fine. And if you want to have thousands upon thousands of people in it, that's perfectly fine. I don't want thousands of people in it. I want 100, maybe 1,000 of dedicated people. And so that's not how you could join our Slack. And by the way, our Discord. And you guys could help me test it. Go to coding30.com, click get access to our Discord plus bonus material here. And it's going to take you to our landing page. Maybe I broke it. Maybe it's not going to work. And now, if you like what we do here, then join our community. Sign up below. You will get access to our Discord, get access to our community projects that we're building in our Slack right now. You also get 1 or maybe 2 times a month a group chat with everybody. We could talk about the project we're doing, because I found out that doing one-on-ones with even 40 people, that's just way too much time. So I will only do group chats of this. Unpaid one-on-ones is going to be very difficult for me, because I already don't have time. But more importantly, you'll be part of an awesome community. And what you do is you put your email, hit submit, and what it's going to do, it's going to send you a link. Please check your email box to confirm your email. You will receive your Discord link shortly. So for you guys to get the link, you will have to go to your email and find that email and open that email. So you're basically subscribing to Discord by giving your email. Oh my God, Paul, why are you doing it? This like fat? No, listen up, guys. Here's the thing. If you're willing to give me your email, I know that you're serious about taking that step and joining the community. And I know that spammers, or maybe spammers won't care, but whatever they do, they're not like, it's just an extra step to kind of, for me to scrub the community and get the people I want. Another reason why I want your email is because now whenever I have a new video that comes out, and let's say I get kicked off YouTube, YouTube has been doing strange things, you're not going to get access to me, because I will be able to send you that same content via your email. So every time a new video comes out, if I'm kicked off YouTube or whatever the reason is, I could send you that information directly to your email. If I find a good deal on a course or some super secret thing that you guys should know about, instead of making a public announcement all over YouTube, I could make that announcement directly to you guys via email. And that's why I'm doing it. So you could, I'm not sure if this works completely, so you could help me test it out by trying to see if you could sign up to our Discord. So don't mind if you hate or not hate, but I want to be honest with you and give you the reason. When you sign up to the Discord, you are signing up through your email. And the reason why I want your email is because I want to have a way to send you guys private messages based on the new stuff that I'm coming out. But I just wanted to say that to you guys. And Luke, your tutorials are great. Thank you, Luke. Awesome. Okay, after recommendation of web development course of Udemy is what I meant. Yeah, let's do it. So web development courses, there's a bunch. It could be HTML, CSS, React is all about development. But here's the thing. I'm going to show you courses you should stay away with from. And I love, and I'll tell you the reason why. I'm not saying that you shouldn't. I mean, you don't have to listen to my opinion about anything, right? And let me turn the music back on. I'm getting bored mentally. When I could hear myself think, it's very difficult for me to talk. But before I do that, let me turn the system audio down so it doesn't blow anybody's ears. All right, so the music's happening. So the thing is that I'm trying to say is that there's courses that are more appropriate to others for beginners. Now, anything that says boot camp, I stay away from, and I'm only showing you the courses that I bought so you guys know that I'm not like, trying to pull a fast one on you. I'm 55% complete with this one. So let's take a look at this. This is the complete bootcamp course.
Hi guys, welcome back. This is
The reason why I tell you to stay away here, it's because this is maybe a 12-hour course, or how many hour course? Like, I don't even know how many hours this course is. It's 55 total hours. Okay, so that's a lot. Okay, 55 total hours. Number one, it's, okay, 55 hours is a pretty goddamn long course. Maybe they'll do a good job. But here's the thing. I know, at least based on the sections that I did, the issue with bootcamp classes that try to teach you everything, like you do front end, you learn all the HTML, you learn all the CSS, intermediate CSS, you learn introduction to Bootstrap 4, intermediate Bootstrap, you learn web design school, how to create a website people love, you learn JavaScript 6, you learn intermediate JavaScript, you learn document object model, you learn level, like you do challenges, you build stuff, you learn jQuery for a goddamn reason, I don't know, you learn challenges, you do complete stuff, then you learn API, and the API section has 13 lectures, right, where you could have a standalone class on API, which might be like a 12-hour tutorial with like 80 lectures. The reason why, it's basically the reason here why I don't like these code classes as your first class, is that they teach you a broad knowledge about everything, but not really anything in detail. Like the database, only one lecture. Okay, 2 lectures here. Why does it say 1? Okay, SQL has 6 lectures. But you basically get a general introduction to everything, but you're not really going to get good enough in any one particular skill. That's what I'm getting at least based on, React.js. They have a full course. Okay, great, you have a full course. But the point is, for me, I'm not saying for you it's wrong, but for me, why this is wrong is because you try to learn a whole field at once. To me, I like to break down their individual parts. HTML and CSS, let me get a dedicated course for HTML and CSS. Let me learn that first. Then let me get a dedicated course for HTML and for JavaScript. Like, let's see what JavaScript courses we have here, so I could tell you which ones I recommend. Well, Paul, you can't spell. Yeah, I know. But let's do this here. So I have a bunch of JavaScript courses. I'll show you the one that I recommend. And I think the one that I want to recommend is not on this account. Or maybe because I completed, I archived it. But I'll look it up here. So basically I'm saying, like, pick domain-specific courses and do that. Don't take a bootcamp. Do a JavaScript-only course. Do an HTML and CSS course. Do a React course. And then after, do a full complete bootcamp course to try to show you how everything fits in. And let me know in the comments if you think I'm crazy. But that's been my approach. Now, the course that I would recommend that's not here, maybe it's in my archived courses that doesn't show up here. It is not. It's because it's in my different account. I have different Udemy accounts. I could have just searched it somewhere else. Like the only reason I'm doing this live is not to flex how many courses I have, but how ridiculous and addicting it is to buy courses and not do them. You literally, this is like the sales pitch for Udemy should be buy courses. Buy courses and never finish them. But then every time you have a sale, they're going to make you feel like you need to buy this course, because if you don't buy this course, you're not going to get the job you want. So this is a different account. How do I know this is a different account? Because it has different courses, and the other account had 139 courses. This one has 49. Why? Because I have tons of courses that are archived. Look, 126 courses archived and 49 not archived. So this is 160 courses that I have here. So the outside that UI UX course that I did and I showed you earlier today, the second awesome like course I would recommend to you guys would be strictly for HTML and CSS, 100% complete. Right, I completed this course all the way. It's modern HTML CSS from beginning, including SAS by Travesty Media. You cover everything here, and so based on everything I learned from this class, I was able to build this website that I'm going to show you here in a second. So Brad Travesty has an amazing course, and I'm going to show you the website that I built from his course here so you guys could see it. So everything I learned from his site, this is the final project that I built. This is it. And I used super huge images like an idiot before knowing this, but this is the site I built. It's pretty awesome looking. It looks clean. So everything you learn in that course will allow you to build something like this. And this is, after you complete this course, just move on to JavaScript because it covers enough stuff. The only thing I would add to it is that he doesn't talk too much about the design or going from a mockup file. That's why now my next favorite course is that UI UX course that I showed you guys earlier. And this is like fully responsive. So if I wanted to like move this around, you see it's like responsive. It works. It looks great. It looks amazing. So that is why I recommend the Travesty course that I'm just showing you right now here. So that will be for strict HTML and CSS. That's the #1 recommendation. I completed it. Now, if you're going to jump into JavaScript, again, why is this course 100% complete? Because it's an amazing course. Again, Brad Travesty does a good job with his JavaScript course. And so if you're looking for a good JavaScript, now by the way, this is the caveat. If you already bought an HTML and CSS course and you didn't finish, if you already bought a JavaScript course and you didn't finish, don't buy any goddamn courses. Go finish those courses you already bought. But I'm just showing you these were really good A+ recommendations. Now, I would love to interview Brad Travesty, but my goddamn channel is way too small for him to come on. And I respect that because the guy is a god. But, you know, one day. But he talks about intro to JavaScript, talk about manipulating the DOM, you build a DOM project. He talks about ES5. You know, we talk about object-oriented programming with JavaScript versus functional programming. He talks about how to use the Fetch API. We do an amazing project. You need to know all this stuff. Like if you don't know how to work with an API and fetch data with JavaScript, then you don't know JavaScript. You must learn it. Then he talks about error handling, some basic JavaScript patterns. Doesn't go into too much detail, but we do build like some projects. So this is an amazing course. So you can't go wrong with his modern HTML CSS course and his modern JavaScript course. In terms of React, another course that I would recommend is the React tutorial and project course by John Smigler. So if you do React, HTML CSS by Brad, the JavaScript by Brad. I didn't take the React course by Brad. I do have it. It's pretty good. But I really like John Smigler, or he has a Coding Addict tutorial, channel on YouTube. Does a lot of free content here. I don't know what I'm doing here. I don't want to go full screen. How you exit full screen? Come on, buddy. Oh, I'm not in the full. Okay, here you go. Here you go. And so he does the basic introduction. What I like about this right from the start, he doesn't waste your time with class-based components because nobody does class-based components anymore. He goes directly in building stuff with React hooks and the reason behind him. You build a lot of great projects, and you know he teaches you everything you need to know about React. You build some e-commerce projects, and then at the end he does quick introduction to Redux, but he doesn't use it first like most tutorials do, but because he uses what React already has, which is Context API. So that's another great class, and he does include a lot of his old content if you do want to build class-based components or want to familiarize yourself with that. So that's pretty good. And then on the one React class that I wouldn't recommend for beginners, because it's I don't have it in this one. Instead of kind of jumping everything, I'm just going to search it here, even though I bought it, bot camp. It's Bootcamp. The Modern React Bootcamp. This is the class like I wouldn't recommend. Why? This guy jumps into Redux too quickly, too soon. It just confuses you. So halfway through the course, you're going to get lost. It's a great course, but definitely if you're a beginner and you haven't built like one or two like React projects, I wouldn't recommend this one. So these are the quick recommendations. Let's jump into the chat because I don't just want to show my screen for no reason. Yeah, Andrew Mead is a phenomenal instructor, and I have that course. I didn't finish it yet, but it's definitely on my to-do list when I'm going to get into. No, like he's so clear-spoken. He prepares his classes so well. Like I'll never be his caliber of an instructor, but yeah, it's amazing. So that if you were looking for Node, that would be a good class to take. If you need help, Discord, bots, or anything else, we can work on it. Yeah, definitely. I have no idea how any of that stuff works. And I know, DJ Norris, you have a lot of stuff going on in your life. And like, I definitely want to be respectful of your time. But definitely we'll hit you up once we get some people in there and set some bots and everything. Invite to Discord wasn't valid. Interesting. Like, I will have to check in. Thanks, Australia's Liz, for checking out for me. I'm gonna figure that out and see what it was. So thank you so much for testing that. When I fix it, I will send everything to you guys. So the invite link and the email was invalid. Okay, I will look into that and see what's up. I think some people prefer learning from books because they don't have two monitors. Yeah, I guess one monitor is plenty for me. Here's the thing is books, they get outdated as soon as they're printed. So for like classics like clean code, where it's more about general big like ideas of how you should write your code, like why naming is important, like why a function should have only one thing that it does, you know, those books are classics. But if you bought a book, you know, on some new technology, as soon as it came out of the press, it's outdated. So I have lots of books. Coding books. I never read them. Like the only reason I have them is like for some reason if I'm in my bed and I just want to read a coding book to kind of help me fall asleep, or I want to like I don't want to use my iPad because I'm trying to fall asleep, then I'll read a book. But I generally just read the documentations on my screen or practice off video tutorials. But I'll show you like some books I have. Like this one is a classic called Cracking the Coding Interview. Now I read zero of it because as soon as I started, I'm like, man, I have to have a computer science degree to be able to do it. And all the code examples are in Java, I believe. Now, if you're going to get a job like at Google or you're prepping for your interviews, this is a pretty good book, but it's a pretty thick book. Now here, and I use it for to put my coffee on top all the time like this by my bed, and that's why it still has freshly minted coffee stains. Now you do need to learn algorithms, right, and data structures eventually. A lot of people spend time learning algorithms and data structures too early. If you can't build a basic project, you can't build a website, and we could argue about this, but if you cannot build a project, you don't have a portfolio, right? You don't have a website which has 5 projects that work and you're proud to show them, don't bother learning algorithm data structures. So learn to build stuff and build a portfolio. So here's the thing, what I recommend. Number 1, learn the thing that you're trying to get good at. Let's say it's React developer. Great. Build 5 projects. I'm looking at myself. I got to be looking at you. Build your 5 projects to put in your portfolio. That's step 2. And step 3, start learning data structures, algorithms, and doing interview prep. Write an amazing resume and start looking for the job. That's part 3, right? That's the time to learn algorithm and data structures. When you start, after you complete your portfolio, know how to do the work you're going to be hired for. And now it's time to prep for interviews and work on stuff. Hello, kitty. Hey. He's shy, doesn't want to come in the camera. But I have 2 cats that my daughter recommended I take care of. Come, darling. Okay, he doesn't want to come. Whatever. That one is rambunctious. This one, though, she's much nice. Ooh. Here we go. We have kitty cats, but I love kitty cats and animals and dogs and whatever. But my daughter just left the cats for me to take care of when she moved to Japan. I was like, thank you. I really appreciate it. But the point is, break it into steps. Number 1, learn the thing you're trying to learn. Number 2, build a portfolio. Number 3, build your resume. Start practicing data structures, algorithms, and start practicing interview questions, and start practicing getting the interviews and passing them. Do it in steps, but don't do it before the horse. If you don't have a portfolio, you're wasting your time. So break it down to those 3 steps. Learn the thing you want, build projects with the things that you learn. Now practice getting ready and passing interviews. Those are 3 separate skills, and that's how you should learn. Again, that's my opinion. We could argue about it. And that's all I'm going to say about that. Let's go back to the comments. Yeah, that's one good point I will tell you, Australist, is books are good because there's no distractions like Facebook and email. 100% true. And I would say everybody learns differently. And for me, I just either read the documentation, read blogs or videos in my case. So that's kind of like what I'm going to say on that. So if you learn well from books, some people do that. It's not me. So just basically have to find what works for you. I'm all about you using the thing that works best for you. If it's books, it's books. For me, it's not books. For some people, it's not videos. They hate watching videos. Adrian, thank you. Somebody else also mentioned it. The link is invalid. You know, what I would say, I think if the link you sent, I think it expires after 30 days or so. And that's why my method of getting people signing up won't work. So I'm going to fix it. If I can't fix it with an email, I'm going to basically just send the link in my community section on YouTube, and you just join it the normal way people join. But I think I'm going to do that for now. Forget everything I said, the email. I'll fix it, though, when I get a chance. I'm going to join Discord. I like Discord. You know what? While you guys here, let me just see if I could find my Discord link and just put it in here for you guys to join. And eventually I'll figure out that email thing. But again, there's nobody here right now. You guys are going to be the first ones. So here's the link to Discord. So those of you guys are here, click on that link, go to Discord. You guys will be the first one to join, and then we could start the conversation. You guys could help me set stuff up. You guys could tell me what you want. And I think you know what, for now, for the time being, to grow the initial following, I'm just going to share the Discord in lives like I just did, and then on my community section. So people that subscribe to me are going to find it. I just don't want random dudes joining for no apparent reason. Not that you guys are random. I appreciate it. Oh, look, Luke already joined. Somebody else just joined. I can see that. Fantastic. That makes it so easy. So let's do another 10 minutes. So let's do some rapid questions about anything. Anything you guys want to talk about, let's throw them out there. Even ridiculous stuff. Yeah, I do got the FASIC course. And yes, I do want to make a game one day. So let me tell you why I have Phaser and why I have some of those other things. It's because I do so much web development and study that I get bored, but I want to play games. I want to turn on my computer PC, even though Cyberpunk is completely broken. I love that game. It's amazing, but it's a waste of time. If you're looking to get a new career, forget games. If you're old, if you don't have time already because you're old, forget games. So what I decided, I made a promise. I'm like, look, you can't play games, but you could make games. So if you want to break, make games either with JavaScript or C# using Unity, because those are the two languages you're working with at work. So that's kind of the promise I made for myself. You like games, you want to play games, make games and then play them, because you're still practicing coding. And I went so far into this idea of not playing games that I bought Mac Mini that can't run anything. You can't play 0 games on Mac Mini. And my desktop computer with my amazing GPU I use for crypto mining now. So I have no way to play games, and that's my excuse. Man, DJ Norris, you could write a script to auto-generate an invite link. I love you. And there's also a possibility to be a part of the API. Man, that's why, like, dude, you're amazing. I'm gonna come back to other comments in a second. I just want to say thank you for watching out, getting my back, bro. I appreciate you, man, so much. Let's kind of come back here. Let's see here. I've seen these already. That was some slow load. Yeah, because they're freaking 4K. That's why they're low. This is because I was like so lazy to optimize anything. I was like, because that was one of my earlier websites I built. So I just put whatever images that I can. Now, like, I'll use like Cloudinary that automatically will kind of optimize your images, and that's how I solve that problem. Don't have to worry about it. This is something I learned from one of the Traversy channels. I just recently started using this. I don't even know how to spell it. Yeah, so now instead of like try to do all the image kind of optimization myself, I just use this service, and what it does, damn it, I don't remember. My Chrome password's not showing up here. Let's see if I could remember my password. Yep, I remembered. So basically what it does is, I'm just testing out right now, I loaded one image and it automatically created different images. And when I make a call to the API to get this image, I'm able to pick what kind of resolution I want. Do you want small image? Do you want medium? Do you want large? Do you want the thumbnail? And so it makes it easier for me. I don't have to worry about optimizing, but that's like a kind of cool service to use now. Let's see here. I'm watching a 3.5 speed. Phenomenal. Like, that's amazing. Yeah, basically, absolutely right. Web Dev Simplified does some amazing tutorials for React and JavaScript and all this other great stuff. And he's amazing at teaching. Yeah, he's been coming to our live streams. I plugged his channel a bunch of times. But definitely go subscribe to, and his channel's bigger than mine, by the way. I don't want, like, but he has amazing content. I watch his content. So if you want to get some good tutorials, Web Dev Simplified is good. The other guy who was here too, they all have similar names. I get it. But Web Dev Simplified, his channel is huge. They're all amazingly great. Also, like another guy who comes to that, the Web Dev Simplified, I got him confused. He doesn't come to my streams. His channel is too big. It's, god damn it, I'm so bad with names. Too much head trauma in my brain. So, Web Dev Junkie. That's what I was going to say. That's the guy who comes here. His channel's bigger than mine too. Any channel's bigger than mine. Web Dev Junkie has really good tutorials, by the way. Like, go check out his YouTube channel. He has a lot of good stuff. But yeah, Web Dev Simplified is that pretty boy. Yeah, really nice looking kid. Yeah, he does good stuff. Web Dev Simplified, that guy, you know, got the looks, got the coding, you know. But whatever, you know, let's move on. Let's kind of come back. Me, Web Dev Junkie, yeah, does phenomenal tutorials. That's the guy I was talking about. I get confused with everybody. Don't be offended when I mess up your name, because 20 years of my career I've been punched in the head. So that's the thing. I'm not sure if it started yet. I think it's going to be at some point in May or definitely in June. I know they did the pre-sale, but I'm going to be all on it. I'm going to keep you guys posted on my progress. And I would love to make a study group for anybody that bought the course. And I think it still might be on sale, but I don't know yet. But it was a self-paced boot camp you could check out at Coda Foundry. If anybody, again, if you're only interested in C# development and MVC, and what I like about it is that from start to finish, you'll be able to learn everything you need to land your job. And I think, let's see if they're still offering that amazing discount. I think it was learn, codafoundry.com, pre-purchase. All right, 2 days left. It's an amazing sale because for $129, you get access for one full year. And normally they're going to charge $99 per month. So instead of paying $1,200 for a year, you pay $129. So for me, it was a no-brainer. I like those guys. I like what they do. So I bought their course. And because I'm also, C# developer, like I wanted to kind of get another resource for me to learn the right way how to build these projects. So you're going to build amazing projects. You're going to have a bug tracker. You're going to have a Movie Pro, which is going to be their web API project, and you're also going to build a blog, which is cool. Not saying that you guys should buy it. It's a course that I bought. Great course if you're looking to get ASP.NET and C#. Yeah, Cyberpunk let me down really hard. Dude, I cried. I'm so hopeful. This is my hope for Cyberpunk, and I think it's going to happen. It's going to be the next Skyrim. And Skyrim, if you don't know, basically the game was good, but it had so many issues. And then modders came out, and they made a game like 1,000 times better. Like, I've never completed Skyrim because I was too busy modding the goddamn game and trying new things out. That 20 years now, or how many years it's been out, it's still an amazing game. And I think that's what's going to happen to Cyberpunk. A bunch of modders are going to fix the game because the developers can't do it. And it's going to become the next Skyrim. At least I'm hoping, keeping my fingers crossed, and it's going to become an amazing game. But yeah, that was terrible. And Luke, same. Cyberpunk got me reread. I never read it firstly to begin with, but I started reading Neuromancer. And that's like the book for anybody to read if you're Cyberpunk anything, like The Matrix, anything, like whatever. It's cool. Yeah, and that's like the benefits of using something like Next.js and stuff like that. Although for my Next.js project, I'm using Cloudinary because I'm doing everything through Strappy in the way that I started doing it. I'm convinced YouTube has given me permanent brand damage. Everything now just feels so slow. That's 100% true because I always watch stuff on 2.0 speed, and now that's normal speed for me. It's basically like everything sounds so slow. If I watch a video on one normal speed, I'm going to jump out the window. The bare minimum I will do on YouTube or Udemy is 1.5. And depending if someone's fast speaking or not, I will do 2.0. And yeah, if you could do like 5 speed and be legible, I would probably do it. Linda, thank you so much. Thank you, man. I keep saying, like, I'm so glad to have you guys in this community because, like, I appreciate you guys, everything you do. And because of you, I'm able to be on YouTube. I'm able to have this live stream. We have so much fun. So, like, the thank you is actually to you guys because you guys are awesome. I feel that MMA life, lol. Yeah, it's amazing. I don't know if you, like, I showed last stream, I did a video of me training. I'm not going to do that again anymore. But the point is, like, MMA is great. But at some point, you know, getting kicked in the head, like, there's just no benefit of getting kicked in the head. That's why I love jiu-jitsu so much more, because there's no striking and you could go ridiculously hard. And if your partner is nice, you're not going to get hurt. It's kind of hard to go all out in MMA and not get hurt. But yeah, it's something that definitely is kind of like a headache. So guys, I just want to say, like, thank you so much for everything you guys did, for jumping on the stream with me. Also, what I started to do is some highlights of the stream if I see that I'm talking about something important, not only to attract new viewers, but also instead of people watching a whole 2-hour stream just to get a tidbit, they could just watch that part of the section. And because time coding, stamping things is so hard on a 2-hour video, at least for me. But guys, just thank you so much. So if you guys don't have any last questions or things that you guys want to say to me, we could end the stream here today, and I will continue to, I'll make some videos about any courses on web dev that I do not recommend and which one you recommend. Yeah, I'll do more of that, and we could do it on our live streams. We could do it on no streams. Now, next week, we have a special guest. DJ Norris is going to come down. I think we're going to have an amazing, like, keeping it real conversation about this idea of discipline. And if you guys never saw, like, Goggins, Goggins is an amazing guy because, and he has some of the best quotes. And just look up Goggins quotes if you want to feel bad about yourself. And his last quote was like really funny. You know, he uses swear words all the time, and I try not to swear. I try to keep it clean on this stream. But he's like, he's the guy that runs 20 miles every day, and it's just like, he's like, you know, I woke up today, and I heard this voice in my head said, you know what, you could go jogging, but why don't you go jogging a little bit later today? Why don't you relax for a little bit? And then he goes, you know, and I heard that voice in my head, and I was like, what a bitch. What a bitch that guy is. So I recorded that little bitch. I recorded my excuses live. I recorded myself saying, oh, I don't feel like jogging right now. And then I said to myself, I'm going to go jog. He recorded on tape, and he played that to himself out loud. He played himself making those excuses. And he's like, I sound like a bitch. You know what? Tell that bitch to shut up and get to work. And it's funny. It's vulgar. But it is the truth. At the end of the day, it's our discipline that breaks or makes us. And at the end of the fact, everybody's going to make an excuse. I could make excuses. You could make excuses. But your excuses are worthless. You can't go to the store and buy anything with excuses. Your wife is not going to love you more because of your excuses. You know, they're just waste of time. And the fact is, a lot of times we make excuses. I know that for a fact because I made excuses. So we're going to talk about discipline with DJ Norris and everything else next live stream. And if you didn't like this live stream, like it. But if you guys got like last 5 minutes, rapid session questions, if you want to throw them out there real quickly. Otherwise, we'll say good night and goodbye. But the point is, DJ Norris is going to be here. We're going to talk about reality. We're going to talk about discipline and how important discipline is in anything successful you want to do, and how it's not the courses that you buy, but it's the work that you do of dedicated practice. And with that being said, Luke, I wish there were 3.5 speed button on real people. Yes, me too. That would be amazing. Like, you know, and I'm trying to speak faster, but sometimes I slow down. It's funny, on tutorials I talk slow, on live streams I like blabber really loud. But anyway, guys, I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart for being here, for jumping in. Thank you, Adrian. Thank you all for everything you guys do. If you're just tuning in, I'm sorry if you did a 2-hour stream, but you will always be able to rewatch this. You're always going to do stuff. So we're going to say goodbye. We're going to say goodnight. You know, web dev, always junkie. Thank you for jumping in. Thank you guys, all of you, you know, tuning in. Jose, thank you. Dropped some gems today. I appreciate you guys. I appreciate all of you guys. So thank you so much. You could always watch this on a rewatch, the restream. I love you guys. God bless all of you guys. Continue coding. And don't forget, next stream is going to be amazing with DJ Norris. Definitely come back for that. With that being said, I'm signing off. I don't have my remote to turn off my light and to do that dramatic exit. So I'm just going to turn to the side, click the finish button, and say goodnight, guys. And DJ Norris, thank you. I'll see you in the chat, in Slack. I'll see you next live stream. Good night, everyone.